This is Ken Kaplan from the New England Motorcycle Museum, and today I'm proud to represent, I'm a little sad to represent, I would have loved to have kept this, but we need the money to finish the museum. This is a 47 Indian Chief that I bought from a good friend of mine named Stu, who's in his 80s, and he bought this bike in 1983 and drove it up to his barn, and a little later in the video, you're going to see us pulling it out of the barn. This thing has not seen the light of day since 1983. We have done absolutely nothing to this bike. We haven't washed it. We haven't dusted it off. This is exactly the way it came out of his barn. I didn't want to mess with any of the patina on the bike. I can just show you, if you look up here, there's a little bit of grease on the headlight, but if you wipe it off, the chrome's going to come out like brand new on this headlight. I didn't want to clean it because what I've heard is that the real hardcore collectors and investors want these bikes exactly the way they are. This bike is in most, as far as I can tell, I'm not an Indian guru by any stretch of the imagination, but Stu told me it's mostly original, and obviously he hasn't done anything with the bike since 1983. It's been in his barn. If you look around the bike, he told me the tins were the original tins, which I'm sure are extremely hard to come by at this stage of the game. The engine's original, and it's a matching numbers bike. The frame matches the engine, which you can see here. The VIN number on it is CDG8444. There's no air cleaner, but I believe this is original carb. The heads are in excellent condition. The jugs are in really nice shape. The cases appear to be in great shape. The bike kicks over, goes in and out of gear. The one part that he said he was sure wasn't original was the generator here. Is an aftermarket generator. The crash bars appear to be original, the shocks, the frame is uncut, original Indian frame. I mean, I didn't even take the leaves off of it. The leaves on the bike still. It's exactly the way it was in his barn. So the suicide shifter, right side, he told me this motorcycle was actually a police version, or it may have been a police version where the, and that's why, or excuse me, he told me the shifter was either on the left or the right, depending on if it was going to be used by a police officer or a civilian. I guess they wanted to be able to, or was it the throttle? He said the throttle was on the left or right, because he said they wanted to be able to use their guns while they're driving along. That's, well, you'll see, it's in the video that's following up here. The chrome on the rims, again, we haven't touched it. There's a lot of surface rust on it that I think will come off. But it's not rusted through or anything. It could easily be re-chromed. The original backing plate, the chrome on the forks, again, I don't want to wipe too much of it off, but that'll mostly clean up and be presentable. I don't know if this is original paint or not, but obviously it's flaking off very heavily here. Frame is in beautiful condition. There doesn't appear to be any dings or dents anywhere on the frame. It's never been crashed or molested as far as I can see. Not sure about the exhaust, if that's original, you tell me, but the bike did kick over when we pulled it in. You can hear it's got good compression, so kind of a unique mechanical look to the kickstart here. Look at that, you can see all the gears and everything. Very cool, but the engine is not seized, so yeah, just a really cool machine. Has a rear shocks, it's not a hardtail. It has the girder front end, the Indian girder front end. It is missing the tail light lens here. It's got a license plate from God knows when on there, but it's missing the license plate lens. Handlebars are nice and straight, don't appear to be bent at all. Front end's nice and straight. Bike rolls great, and it's fairly light. I pulled the NADA value on the bike. In excellent condition it's 36,215. In very good it's 20,305, and in good it's 14,460. I would say the bike's in very good condition for the year. It's a no reserve auction, so it's going to sell to the high bidder. If you have any questions about the bike, give us a call, 860-454-7024. And all the proceeds are going to the New England Motorcycle Museum. And Kenny will walk around the bike, show you some close-ups of it. So hopefully it'll answer, I think the close-ups will answer any more questions than I can. It's a beautiful piece of motorcycle heritage. Hard to find original, unmolested like this one is. And like I said, he drove it into the barn in 1983. So all the gears, and he lives on top of a mountain in Glastonbury, the highest point in South Glastonbury. So the bike, all the gears worked, and he drove it right into the barn. Again, the bike was completely untouched to preserve its original patina. There's a quote here that somebody pulled out of off the internet. It says, early Indian enthusiasts once sang, "They're built like rocks to take hard knocks. It's the Harleys that cause the grief." So this bike's ready for your love and restoration plans. If you want to rebuild the motor and ride it original looking like it is, you can do that. Or if you want to repaint it and make it brand new, you can do that. Also pulled some information off the internet. It's a 74 cubic inch side valve, 42 degree V-twin, about 40 horsepower, has a 4-speed chain drive, fairly light at 550 pounds. So Stu also gave me, Stu restored a 1940, excuse me, this is a 47, because he had two of them. He has a 46 that he restored to concourse condition. And here's a Stark Light cycle. I guess this is a vendor that he bought a lot of the components to restore his other one. Again, they weren't original parts like this one is. The one that he had restored was looked like a new bike, but there were a lot of reproduction parts. As far as I know, these are all original parts except for what he pointed out with the alternator generator there in the battery, maybe the seat. But fantastic bike. It's been on display in the museum here for a couple months now, and everybody who's seen it absolutely loves it. It's a unique piece of memorabilia, motorcycle history. Up this 1947 Indian Chief from my friend Stu Beckett. How you doing, Stu?
Very good.
Stu has owned this motorcycle for about almost 40 years. He's not exactly sure what year he bought it, but he's had it for an awful long time. Tell us a little bit about the bike, Stu.
Well, I came from Argentina. I used to fly down there regularly, and to take care of the time that I had available, I'd go out and look for motorcycles. And had a small shop down there that was working on them for me. And this was one of the last that I brought back. I brought back some HRD Vincents and some Indians.
It really is a beautiful bike. One of the things Stu pointed out to me is it is in fact the matching numbers 8444 on the block, CDG 8444, and it's got 8444 on the serial number in the back here. I hope you can see it. But the bike has you know, the patina of sitting in Stu's nice high-end dry barn here up on the hill. So there's really very little rust on the bike, but it has a patina. The paint's peeling a little bit. It looks to be mostly original. What else can you tell me about the bike, Stu?
Not very much, because I got it out of the Argentine, brought it up here, and took it over to a shop and got it running, and rode it up here with clouds of blue smoke, so that the engine obviously needs to be rebuilt.
Okay.
It's pretty much original, and parked it, and that was the end of it.
Well, it certainly is a beautiful bike, and the patina on it just speaks of the age of the bike, and it's well preserved, but there is a fine patina on it, which just looks really cool. And I hear a lot of the collectors these days like them like this, just the way they are, or they rebuild the engines and ride them like this and preserve the antiquity and the patina of the finishes of the motorcycle. But just a really cool looking bike, really mechanical looking motorcycle. It's got the belt drive generator. And are these original tins on this bike, Stu?
The original what?
Tins, gas tank and fenders.
Yes.
So it's got original tins on it. That's original. That's a girder front end, right? Not a springer.
Right.
That's unlike the Harley Springers. What's different between a girder and a springer? Can you explain it, Stu?
Not well, because this was Indian's iteration of it, and the girder forks generally come out, two pieces come back together down at the axle.
Really cool looking bike with it.
They essentially do the same thing.
Headlight on its feet. There's a little bit of grease on the headlight. That'll probably clean up really nice. I don't know if we should leave it like it is or wash it.
Probably could use a bath after 40, 50 years.
So it hasn't been washed in almost 50 years?
Hasn't been washed since I've had it.
And you've had it almost 40?
Yeah.
Well, you know, sometimes water's not good for motorcycles, they say. So certainly the electronics and
everything else. But it's a beautiful bike, Stu. Thank you for sharing it. For those of you who have been watching our videos, the XLCR Cathay Racer was another bike that Stu preserved in his barn here for since 1983 was the last time that was rode. And then we have the R90S BMW. Stu's had some really fine bikes in his day. So, Stu, thanks for sharing the story of your Indian with us. And we'll look forward to seeing you at the New England Motorcycle Museum for our annual block party in May. Hopefully you can come down.
Well, hopefully I'll look forward to seeing this one in the same shape the cafe is in. You've done a beautiful job restoring that.
Thank you. Well, we're just getting started on that. Wait till you see it when it's done. It's going to be beautiful. Of course, we're having our Monday night bike night, so if you want to come down and check out the Indian starting in May, we'll have bike nights. You can come down and check out all the cool old vintage bikes we've got there. Hope everybody has a great day, and God bless. So good luck bidding on the bike. Again, Paul, if you have any questions, good luck and God bless.